we're going to make sweetbreads. These are probably one of my most favorite things to eat. Not that difficult to cook, but a difficult thing to undertake if you don't understand. Like anything, a sweetbread is only as good as the quality of product you buy. There is a heart sweetbread and there is a throat sweetbread. You want the large heart sweetbread like this from Veal. These are about as good a quality as you can buy. They're the best, and I spent years and years trying to find the very best quality sweetbreads there are, and now we serve them all the time and I love them. So the first thing we need to do is just leave that in a bit of ice cold water overnight. Steeps out a little bit of the blood, cleans it out, purges it a little bit if you like, then it's ready to go. What needs to happen next? A little bit of water, a little bit of rough mirepoix or veg, onion, carrot, celery, garlic, bay leaves, thyme, a little carrot in there as well. Not too much carrot because the carrot's quite sweet. Just trying to get a little bit of flavour imparted into that stock so we're not just dropping the sweetbreads into a completely plain stock. Some celery, and we're going to recreate a dish here, probably one of my most favourite dishes to make ever. It's got a bit of heritage to it, this dish. It takes me back to a couple of sauces that we made as an apprentice and a beautiful cabbage dish that I made in my younger training years. So this is a kind of a combination of many years of my cooking life on a plate, and I think this would be my death row meal. So into here goes the water, the vegetables, white wine vinegar, generous pinch of salt, and into that goes the sweetbreads. They're going to boil, we're going to turn the heat right off, and we're going to allow that to cool completely. That's it, because there's a secondary cooking process. So this is my braised cabbage, which goes with our wonderful sweetbreads. This is a cabbage that I used to make when I was back at Claridge's as a very young boy. I loved making this cabbage. Stayed with me ever since. I think it's the best way to braise cabbage. Really simple. You can do it the day before, you store it in the fridge. In fact, it's better if you leave it for a little bit as well. It's quite simple. Take a big Savoy cabbage, ideally leave all the big outside leaves on. You need those for this. Actually, we've just got a stripped down Savoy cabbage, but that's fine. I've just put some outer leaves on the bottom. So that just goes into the pot like that in halves. Pack it in quite tightly. Right, now, what we need to get into there is some flavour. First, we're going to add some nice bay leaves, a bit of fresh thyme in there in the middle. Then add a head of garlic, pop it in there like that. And then we've got this, which is Morteau Sausage. Beautiful smoked sausage from France. We're going to cut that. That's raw at the moment. Amazing smoky flavour. This is Ventrèche. Again, super smoky bacon. I'm going to leave all of the skin on and everything. I'm not going to take that off. I'm looking for the flavour to be imparted into that, but I'm also going to use it in my cabbage. I want it to be squeezed in quite tight. In there goes chicken stock, really good rich chicken stock. This plays another part as well, so it's important you use nice stock. Be careful with using a stock cube because the stock cube is salty. I'm just going to put some whole peppercorns into this. Then I'm just going to put a lovely cartouche on top. Just take that piece of paper, make a nice cartouche. And actually somebody was saying on the channel about when would you use a cartouche and a lid. Well, this is the time when I would use a cartouche and tin foil as well at the same time. And that's going to keep all my steam in. So that's going to come up to the boil. It's going to go into a 170 oven and it's going to be allowed to cool down for 45 minutes. That's come out of the oven, it's cooled down now. Oh, the smell of the smoky bacon, the stock, the cabbage, it's absolutely amazing. There's the Morteau sausage and the Ventrèche. There's the garlic, that's also important. And then this is that liquid left over, the chicken stock with the cabbage and all the lovely smoky flavours. This is amazing. Pass this juice into a clean pan and reduce this down and make a really simple sauce, because the flavour in there already from the chicken stock, the peppercorns, the smoky bacon and the cabbage is just delightful. And I'm just going to cream that out. And this dish is going to be served with a Perigord sauce and a cream sauce that come together. So I'm going to leave it separately. So much flavour. So let's take a piece of cabbage like this, cut all the bottom off quite generously, and we're left with this sort of arch, heart shape like this. And then I'm gonna squish it slightly, trim it into the size that I want it to become in relation to our sweetbread, you see. Okay, now what I'm going to do is open up the cabbage like this, a couple of layers like that. Just need to take that outside skin off. Actually, I need to peel that skin off. It's a bit chewy. It's a sausage casing essentially. And slice up that sausage, a couple of pieces on each one. Imagine how much flavour's in that. Ooh. The Ventrèche, just take the skin off. You can't eat that. Not very nice that. Cut the bacon through. Because it's been braised now, you can eat that bacon really nicely. piece of that bacon. Back over goes the cabbage. Put it in there upside down like that. And then you bring the cling film up. And then you just manipulate it. Okay, so those sweetbreads have now come up to a boil, cooled down, and you just need to take off this fat and membrane on the outside. Try not to damage the sweetbread. And they look like they'll come apart, but they won't. See that membrane coming off like that? Beautiful. And then all we're going to do now, season that sweetbread really nicely with salt. This is rice flour. Give it a really nice coating on one side only with rice flour. Pop the sweetbread into there and cook that just like that on a low to medium heat. Okay, that sweetbread's been cooking away now for a good 10 minutes, really slowly. And I'm really happy with that coloration now. Don't want it much more than that. It's nice and crispy, really beautiful. I don't want to cook the other side. Put in a little knob of butter. I'm going to put a lid on, like that, a press, and I'm going to turn the heat off completely. Just put a little weight on the top, just so it compresses it into the butter a little bit. And that's what's going to almost like fondant the sweetbread and just give it that really beautiful caramelization before we glaze it with the sauce and plate the dish. So I'm just going to carve the sweetbread now. See, you've still got that beautiful moisture in the middle there. Really delicious.